Hey everybody, Gulf Coast EDC here. I got something different for you today. Watches are EDC, right? So let's get into it. I've owned a couple of these watches, and while we're going to run through the unboxing, this is just to kind of give you an idea experience because I've had this watch for a hot minute now. But I think it's a really great value and a really great watch if you like dive watches. So I just wanted to run through it real quick and show you about it. I'll have links in the description so that you can check it out if it's up your alley. Anyways, Steinhart. It's a brand that's been around for a decent amount of time. I want to say they used to have a different name back in the day. I want to say they're German-based, but the watches, the movements are, Swiss, so high-quality watches. Let's get into it. You get a cardboard box here. Nothing really to write home about. Got their logo in silver on the top, so it's nice. Inside's a leatherette. Oops, sorry. Inside's a leatherette box. It's got their logo on it. You can see it's also in the silver. It's nice. Silver all the way around, or leatherette all the way around. So it's a nice quality box. It's got just kind of like a hole here on this nipple here, so you just pop that off. And then we got the watch inside. So I don't know if the camera kind of picks that up, but right away when you open it and look at it, you can see that there's anti-reflective and that it is a nice crystal, but it has kind of a blue ring around the edges, and that kind of let you know that it's sapphire glass. You could also do some tests like, water should kind of beat up on it because it has a coating. But basically that's going to give you a really clear see-through to the dial. It's also got anti-reflective coating on the underneath of the inside. So should be really clear almost no matter what, and especially, like if you're in the water or something like that. But anyway, we've got a nice little spongy sponge up there. It keeps it soft on the face of the watch. You get your book here. Oh, got a logo hidden inside there. Get your book here. Tells you about it. A lot of different languages. Somebody signed it or doodled on it. I don't know. But so you got all that in there if you need it. It's nice because it does fit inside of here. And surprise, surprise, I do have watches that the stuff doesn't actually fit inside their boxes, so that's nice. So, I don't know if this is interesting to anybody. If you're interested, I guess that's the number. Now, I didn't buy this like years ago. Probably had it maybe a year, probably less than a year, maybe. But it comes on a nice little pillow here. And we got the watch. Again, hopefully you can kind of see that blue ring. It's nice. So this, lots of opinions out there, right? So let's start with that. This is a homage watch or a knockoff, or however you want to think about that. This is a watch that is designed directly after the Rolex Sea Dweller 1665, double red specifically, which is, a collector's watch. They only made them in the 70s, stopped making them around 78. If you want to, and this is where I kind of draw the line because, I do have a real Submariner. And even before that, I had a Steinhart watch, not this one, but one that's more like a Submariner. And my personal rule on watches is that I would not buy a watch that is a direct knockoff of a watch, that uses their logos and their branding. Like this doesn't say Rolex on it, okay? It doesn't say Sea Dweller on it or anything like that. It does take design cues from it. And so, me personally, I could get a watch that kind of looks like my other Steinhart looks like a Submariner. Doesn't say Rolex, doesn't say Submariner, nothing like that. I'm not a fan of that. Now, I do have some different lines where I'll say like this is an homage of the Sea Dweller. Most people cannot afford it. I can't afford it. It's a $40,000 watch, and that's a decent price. Sometimes they're up to $50,000, $60,000. I do like the design of it when their dials get aged like they have because of the chemicals that they use to make these markers. The markers turn this color, this kind of, I don't know, brownish tan or desert tan kind of looking color. So very, very nice. The patina on it looks great, and this watch captures that very, very well. Now, I'll say everybody has their opinion, and you know, if you're somebody that doesn't like homage watches or watches that look like other watches, first I'll say that, you know, everybody can have their opinion, right? But I'll also say that that's a hard road. You know, lots of watches look like other watches. Very few distinct designs left in the world, but we'll get away from that. Just know that this is kind of an homage. Now this watch is 42 millimeters diameter, has 22 millimeters on the lugs. The bracelet starts at 22, tapers down to 18, so you get, you know, a nice kind of taper on it, so it makes it real comfortable. Stainless steel bracelet. It's all 316L. Let's see, it weighs 212 grams. The sapphire glass, it's slightly domed with anti-reflective and undercoating on the inside. It's waterproof to 30 atmospheres, which is 1,000 feet. The Sea Dweller is 2,000 feet, so that's kind of a difference, right? I'll just tell you now that, you know, myself, like most folks, I mean, I go to the beach every once in a while, you know, or swim in a pool. I'm never, ever going to be at 1,000 feet, so plenty of atmospheres for my disc diving. Let's see, the bracelet is screwed, so just as a quality indicator, you know, I don't know if you can see that, but there's screws for the links. Very nice and comfortable bracelet. And these are solid end links, so very high quality. Let's see, so this is like standard old school clasp. This is, you know, kind of designed after, you know, the Sea Dweller, obviously. But I will say the other difference is that, you know, this has a sapphire coated crystal, which is gonna, you know, last you nearly forever unless you smash it with a hammer. Whereas the original came with an acrylic crystal, so basically plastic, right? You know, different opinions about it. I would just say that, you know, it costs you more to get sapphire crystal than it does to have the plastic acrylic. So it has a standard kind of clasp that you would have seen on a Sea Dweller or, you know, even a Submariner, really. So it flips up, and it's a nice clasp. If I stop yapping for a minute, you can hear how nice it is. Very satisfying click to that. I will also say that this is a very tight bracelet, a very tight clasp. Not to gross anybody out, but I've nearly ripped my thumbnail off trying to flip this out. This is not, I could probably adjust it, but right out the box is not something that you're gonna just flip with your thumbnail like you might with like my Submariner. I can just flip it, it's very easy. This guy, I've gotta grab the sides and pull. But you can see, very nice clasp mechanism here, stainless steel stamp on it. It also has, you know, extensions down here, so you can move that to 2 sizing positions here. You've also got 4 size adjustments in here. So I guess you'd probably say maybe the double here is probably a diver's extension. I don't know. I'm not going to be wearing a wetsuit anytime soon. The other logo etched in the case back. I'll try to get a good shot of that. Yep, you can kind of see, I don't know, Nemo or somebody there with a trident and riding on a seahorse. Nautical theme, definitely, so definitely pretty nice. Has a nice screw-in crown. Yep, really nice. You can hear it click out. Very easy to adjust. Obviously has, you know, a date complication. Since it's modeled after the Sea Dweller from the 70s, you know, they were using the aluminum bezel insert. So the bezel itself is stainless steel, 316L, but this insert here is aluminum. So long lasting, but it can dent over time. You know, each material has its pros and cons. You know, the aluminum, they did it for a long time on the Submariner, Sea Dwellers, all that kind of good stuff. But it can get smashed. It can, you know, if you hit it up against something hard, it can dent, warp, but easily replaceable. These can be popped out, and, you know, it's really just double-sided tape that's holding them on, even on the Rolexes. So you can pop them on there. It's got a nice little pip at the top, and it's loomed, so it's nice. We'll get a loom test here in a little bit. Nice matte black dial with the red lines. That's part of what makes the Sea Dweller double red lines. That's the 2 lines of red text on the dial. Hopefully you can see that. So probably if we move our hands to the classic 10-10 position. As you can see, it does have a hack function. So meaning that when you go to set your time to synchronize time with someone else or something else or some other time, or get super exact, when you pull it all the way out to move your hands, you'll notice here that the second hand stops moving. And that's how you can synchronize it. I call it hacking. I don't know why. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments. But once you push it in, when you're done setting your time, see the second hand starts moving again. Which is kind of nice if you want to get it as exact as you can. Has a nice satisfying click to the bezel. It's pretty stiff. It's not crazy stiff, but it's much stiffer than a Submariner is. But, you know, it's very, very satisfying. No, I'm not going to leave the pip there. I don't know about you, that'd drive me crazy, so we'll see how. I feel like when I look at it, it gets lined up pretty good. Yeah, so it lines up nice with the 12 o'clock position, so that would drive me nuts if it did not. So, very nice. You can see that it has polished on the sides. Has their logo right there on the crown. You gotta see their Steinhart logo there on the crown. Hopefully the camera's gonna pick that up. So nice design cues, you know, on the bracelet too. You can see that it also has their Steinhart S there. So nice design cues overall. Very nice, super solid watch. This is quality made. You know, it's an automatic. It has 26 jewels in it. Now, it either has 26 or 25, it depends. So with these, you get 1 of 2 movements. And, you know, because of the movements being purchased and moved around and ownership changing, you either get the ETA 2824. In my head, I've always said ETA. You know, I don't know how it's pronounced, or, you know, if you just say the letters, but it's the letters ETA. 2824. Pretty classic movement. It's been used in a ton of watches. Super solid. It's ultra reliable. Very little loss. It's super accurate. And then kind of the new replacement generic for that. It's still Swiss made, but it's a SW Elibor. They say that there's not a whole lot of difference between the two, but you know, just being familiar with the ETA 2024, I prefer it. But I don't really know because I haven't cracked the backs open to figure it out. But either way, a quality Swiss movement, no matter which one is in there, either 25 or 26 jewels. As you know, the law of diminishing returns on jewels really after a bit. But either way, Swiss made. You can see that it has Swiss made on the dial. Now, you know, I guess technically you could do whatever you want to do, but in order to put Swiss made on the dial, you know, it has to have a certain amount of parts. You know, the movement has to be either Swiss made. So this is definitely a quality timepiece. I wouldn't review it if it wasn't, and I wouldn't own it if it wasn't. And definitely for the price. So this watch, with all of the things listed, a Swiss movement, Swiss made, 1,000 feet water resistance, the 316L stainless steel, solid end link bracelet, screw lugs, all of those things for this watch. And to your house is, $460. Now, give or take a few schmeckles for, if you live far away or something like that. I'm in the Gulf Coast, so, to me it's like $460. But well under $500 for this watch is just a crazy, ridiculous value. I don't see a lot of people really reviewing them. And now, if this isn't your cup of tea, like, maybe you like dive watches, but you're not a big fan of this kind of, this patina look, and, you'd rather have something that's more like a Submariner, they have that. Do you like the Kermit? You want the green one? They've got that too. They have a lot of homage style watches, and they're all super high quality. So, if you like this, but, this particular one isn't your style, you can definitely get something that's, more your cup of tea. They also, have other watches that aren't dive watches. They have aviator watches, all that kind of stuff. So, but you definitely should check them out because quality wise, I don't know that you can really beat them. That's why this is my second watch from them. Let's see. And I guess just for, giggle comparisons, since I guess normally you would, this is about the time I would use a second or third knife to get some size comparisons or so. This is my sub. And you can see that they're, very similar in size. You obviously don't have the magnifier because the Sea Dweller didn't have the magnifier. When you're 2,000 feet underwater, the date probably doesn't matter to you so much. Now the sub has a ceramic insert on it, so it's going to be a little different sheen there, but very similar size. You can definitely see there's more kind of slender. The lugs kind of taper out at a slant, whereas the newer subs are a little boxier, slightly bigger, and but you can see that they're very similar in size, and obviously complementary of each other in aesthetics. Clasp wise, it's the same. It's you snap it on and you got a nice little snap on the back, but very similar. Let's take a look at the lume. I'll see if I can get these lights down here and do a lume comparison. That'll be a little bit different just because the sub, the newer subs have blue lume, so technically not quite as strong as okay. You can see the lume's pretty bright on both. Blue, it's kind of a bluish green color. And I will say that, Submariner's known for having some really good lume. But you can see that the Steinhart is no slouch. Definitely the lume on it is very bright, plenty bright to see, your time and all of that kind of good stuff in your pip. So yeah, not too shabby at all. And I've seen way worse lume on some watches. You can tell that they use a good quality lume. And I want to say I read in there that it's Super Luminova, so really nice. I'd assume it's C3, but I don't 100% know, just it's Super Luminova. So again, quality components and workmanship here. I'll just say that, for $460, this is a high value dive watch. I've had lots of watches, and I definitely would buy this again. High quality, super nice, keeps time really great. and just looks fantastic. And you know, no one's going to be like, oh, is that a ripoff Sea Dweller 1665 double red? Oh, no, it's not. You know, you're a poser. It's just a nice looking quality watch. It looks like, you know, it's a little vintage because of the patina, but it still does everything you want with your, you know, everyday EDC watch. Tells the time, you get the date out of it. You don't have to worry about it since it's automatic. It's going to wind itself. It has a nice movement, so you're going to get accurate times out of it. And it's a really nice looking piece that, you know, you can wear with, you know, shorts and tennis shoes, but you could also throw it on when you're, you know, going to that business dinner. Something that you could wear with all things and is really nice. You know, that's why they call them sport watches, right? But anyway, if you like this kind of content, let me know. You know, if you have a Steinhart, I'd love to hear that in the comments. Or, you know, do you have another brand that you think might be better, or that you found that a lot of people don't know about? Let me know in the comments. And if you got any kind of value out of this, like and subscribe. And as always, I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.